Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Akshay. Sit down, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, what is the meaning of Akshay?
Sir, it means something which is indestructible and stays forever.
Stays forever. Is there anything which stays forever?
I think the selfless love of mother and humanity in me or my value system or being there for someone, I think that stays forever.
Okay, think about it.
Yes, sir.
The screen stays forever, the picture keeps coming and going.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't hear.
The screen stays forever.
The screen.
And the picture keeps coming and going.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you see football and sometimes you see cricket, sometimes you see movie there, sometimes you see something else.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's go to... You are working in defense account service now.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what is the size of India's defense budget?
So this year it's 6.21 lakh crore, sir.
And what percentage of GDP?
It's 13% of the budget, and it's around 1.9 to 2.1% of the GDP, sir.
About 2% of the GDP?
Yes, sir.
And what is the size of US defense budget in terms of GDP percentage?
Sir, it's around 3%, sir.
Around 3%.
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you think our budget is enough? Because you are in the accounts. Is it sufficient to meet our defense requirements?
So certainly I would say that it's not sufficient to meet because there's a requirement for greater expenditure, proposals like indigenization, and we have a hostile situation in the neighborhood with Pakistan, China, and a geopolitical tense situation. But India has other challenges too and has limited resources and has to take up a lot of developmental projects and allocate resources based on efficiency for other ministries.
Has the defense budget gone up or defense spendings have gone up after the crisis on the Chinese border?
Yes, sir. Across the world also and in India also, the defense spending has increased. We have seen a 4.7% rise since the last year as well. And this is to basically secure our national interest and national security, which can lead to building a platform for the socio-economic development.
Okay. Now, you were in Edmonton, Canada for some time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have been having some ups and downs in our relations with Canada. Can you tell me what is the cause?
So the first and most important aspect is that the Canadian government is not dealing very efficiently with the Khalistani separatists, and secondly, there are a lot of hate crimes against Indians and vandalization of temples and related aspects. So these are the major two things. All these are related to the Khalistani element of the factor. And I think thirdly, it would also be with respect to the involvement of the Canadian Prime Minister in certain internal affairs of India, especially during the farm protests and also in the recent WTO meetings, sir.
But what is the cause? Why Canadian government is behaving like this?
So firstly would be that the diaspora, the Indian diaspora or the Sikh diaspora makes a lot of importance to their vote bank. And that is one aspect, and they have a lot of...
But Khalistani elements don't make big diaspora. They are very small out of the total Indian diaspora in Canada.
So, but through the Khalistani element, there's a lot of influence in the politics. For example, Mr. Jagmeet Singh, so he's been integrated into the ministry or the politicians of the Canadian government. So he's having a role. So it's like a platform or a representation of politics. And also secondly would be that there's a lot of funding from other nations too, like from our certain neighbors who are funding and propelling this attack against India for the anti-social elements.
Okay. Now, Uniform Civil Code. Is it desirable? Should it be enacted by the central government or should it be enacted by the different states separately, having different languages and different rules and regulations? What is your view?
So going legally again through it, I think it can be enacted because it's also part of the Article 44 of the Constitution. So this is good, sir. And secondly, I would like to substantiate with a few of the benefits it has. For example, it promotes uniformity in all the civil laws existing and reduces discrimination or gender inequality. And
No, my question is, should it be adopted by the states separately, each state adopting them, or should it be done by the union government?
So regarding the jurisdiction, I'm exactly not sure. But right now, various states have taken steps in that regard, like Uttarakhand, and even Assam has also gone towards it. But the jurisdiction of it, I need to look into it, sir, whether it's concurrent or in the state list, sir.
And you think it's a good idea to do it?
Yes, sir, because there are a lot of inequalities or discriminations, and secondly, it promotes a lot of uniformity, and legal hurdles too can be solved in this regard. It can simplify the process, and thirdly, it would promote jointness and a sense of belonging, and promote again the constitutional morality which is there.
Now, there's also a viewpoint which is gathering some, I won't say support, but at least some media coverage, that there should be a caste census in the country. So tell me, what are your views on that? Is it desirable? It's not desirable?
Sir, I think today we are in an era where data is seen as a new oil. And so caste census can make our country from data rich to data intelligent. So it promotes a lot of, firstly, data-based evidence-based policy making. And secondly, it ensures that the required benefits are reaching to the beneficiaries.
But data could be very destructive also, like Mandal Commission has already divided and created, a sort of antagony between different castes in India. People are fighting against each other. The Gujars are fighting against Jats and Jats against Meenaj. And I'm sure in Telangana also there would be something. So don't you think it's going to create further rift between various sections of the society?
Certainly, there are certain challenges in this regard. So we need to make people aware of the benefits of such a caste census through proportionality effect, and prevent a politicization of such events from taking place. And I think it's the responsibility of everyone to be aware and know the importance of such a thing, and not use instruments like caste in politics and other related aspects.
There are many things of which we are aware, that we should follow the traffic laws, we should follow the criminal penal code. Still you have a lot of criminals, you have every day people violating traffic rules. So that will always be there, whatever you do.
True, sir.
The people will cheat in the exams, so there are very strict rules that you should not do that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So people will misuse these statistics and create conflict in the society.
I think in the short term, we can have certain penal provisions or strict implementation of laws and rules. For example, there was a Supreme Court verdict which says that using caste or religion in politics can be a stringent affair, or it can be penalized. And secondly, sir, promoting certain things like inner party democracy or more awareness among voters, or using technology to curb these malpractices can be a step. And I think in the long term, we can take moral and value education. We need to catch the students very young and promote a lot of rational and awareness thinking, and promote critical awareness among students.
Thank you. I hope this ideal situation prevails.
Thank you, sir.
Hello Akshay, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Staying in Delhi or came from Hyderabad?
No, sir. I'm actually undergoing training in Faridabad, so I came from Faridabad.
Okay. So see, there is an unending demand and debate on bifurcation of states. Many have been done in the past. Bifurcated states are doing well. Still demands are there in Maharashtra, UP and all. So what are your views? Should it be happening? Because smaller states are doing better. Good examples of Punjab and Haryana, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh.
Sir, in this regard, I feel that every demand which is there in our country should not be seen and should not be given into smaller states. So there are certain parameters on which this has to be judged.
Tell me about Uttar Pradesh, demand for having 3 states.
Sir, I have very little idea about Uttar Pradesh, but if I have to see right now, if I have to take my analysis of it, sir, I think certain factors which need to be considered are the financial viability, whether the state can generate its tax revenues in future, whether it can be sustainable. Second are the logistical challenges and the administrative hurdles which can take place in the division of assets, liabilities and other related things. And third would be political stability in this area. Whether in future we're going to have something like this. Taking all this into consideration, maybe a united Uttar Pradesh would be beneficial for the country.
2 major factors. Telangana is doing better, not Andhra Pradesh.
Can I take some time to think? So firstly would be the per capita income of the state, where it has
It
increased.
is already very high.
Yes, sir. But since bifurcation, it has increased, sir. It's almost double the national average. And second would be the generation of revenue from especially industries like IT and other.
What two important programs of state government, last state government, has benefited the society in general, people in general, common man?
So I would say firstly in the agricultural sector, the Raitu Bandhu scheme and concept of Raitu Vedikas. So this has promoted a lot of decentralized system.
Why do we have this physical deficit? We should spend money, the amount of money we have, that much we should spend. Why do we have physical deficit in our budgets?
Sir, I think India, firstly being a developing country, has a lot of shortage of resources in this regard, and because of which there's a lot of expenditure on certain schemes, subsidies.
So you spend the money which you have. Why you are borrowing and spending? Then you have to repay.
Yes, sir. Coming to the social aspect here, that certain aspects are not having enough funding, and that is a related thing. So financially too, there are certain statistics which prove that taking debt into a particular economy or a financial structure can be very helpful in future, and you have debt at very low rates, and these can be helpful in long-term investments and other related aspects. Your return.
Tell me contribution of agriculture in our GDP 30 years back, 35 years back, and now.
So right now it is around 16 to 17% of the GDP, and so 30 years, but I'm exactly not sure, sir. But during independence, it was around 50%, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Akshay, you are in Defence Account Service. Defence PSUs have a key role in defence production. What are the PSUs? How are they catering to India's dream of make for the world defence? Make in India, make for the world, producers of the world.
Sir, I think the PSUs are very integral in realizing the dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat and also self-reliance and also making for the world through exports. So the recent statistics also is supporting this regard, sir. Some of the PSUs are like we have the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, we have the
Yes, and then?
Ordnance Factory Board, which is there, sir. So these are ensured.
Which are the shipbuilding PSUs?
So some of them like Garden Reach Shipyard, then we have Mazzacon and
Goa Shipyard.
Goa Shipyard and Cochin Shipyard Limited. So these are some.
Who makes missiles?
So DRDO is one which makes missiles. So this is ensuring that we focus the required research and development, or secondly we focus the required funds and ensure that we have quality products being delivered to the government based on their requirements. So these are
What BHEL is doing?
Sir, it is manufacturing electrical equipment for, I think, distribution and generation companies. So these are the major aspects.
Radar, sonar, all these things are important or not?
Sir, with respect to defense, I'm not aware of the.
You are okay. You don't know defense, okay? But India, we have to protect our land.
Yes, sir.
We need to know defense. Foreign relation is all about military diplomacy.
Yes, sir.
Then other career diplomat comes thereafter.
Yes, sir. Okay. So recently also, I think we've taken certain radars in the 39,000 crore budget, which has been recently acquired.
Okay, that is okay. Telangana, let us make a manufacturing hub for defense production. Which district you will choose, why you will choose, how you will make it a manufacturing hub for defense production, which area?
So can it take some time to think? I think I would choose something near Adilabad or Karimnagar.
Okay, Adilabad.
Northern part of Telangana, sir.
What are the advantages of choosing this place?
Firstly, that it would be a little far away from Chennai, the defense industrial corridor, and it would ensure that the feasibility of the project is there. And sir, secondly would be that there's an availability of skilled manpower at a very low cost. So that this can ensure cost of economy of or cost of benefits where we can manufacture at cheaper rates. Thirdly would be investment opportunities, through a stable policy or the government who's ensuring that investments can be reached through ease of doing business and other related aspects.
My last question, as a defense accounts officer, you still want Indian Audit and Account Service. Why you feel that maybe what are the different opportunities which you don't have in defense accounts in audit and accounts?
So firstly, that Indian Audit and Account Service is a constitutional body and it has certain powers under the Article 148. And secondly, sir, it looks at the external audit of every institution and it gives an overall picture where its reports are laid in the parliament and other related aspects. Thirdly, I would say a certain...
it ensures parliamentary control over executive.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I enjoyed your discussion so far, Akshay. Okay. Are you still comfortable with some discussion on defense?
Sir, yes.
Okay. So, I have a counterintuitive view on certain things, no? But I would like to know your views on that. No?
Yes, sir.
As a Defense Account Service officers, although you are only 4 months old there, I think you will have some dispassionate view, as all accountants have.
Yes, sir.
I would say that India's defense priority should not have been land security or air superiority security. It should have been naval security. Because our economic interest in the EEZ and also beyond, and in the new economy which is developing, where we are going to contribute 20% of the economic expansion, we need more resources coming to us as raw materials. So in that sense, I would say that the Army and the Air Force bogey within the Indian Defence Forces, they have created a havoc about China and Pakistan. Thereby, we have neglected the development of our marine forces, which is now limiting our capabilities.
Sir, I think firstly I would like to disagree with this view, sir, because I think every arm of the armed forces tries to work towards national security and securing the Indian interests, and it would do every possible regard in this regard to ensure the required budget for the safety of our country.
But disproportionate budget is going to Army and Air Forces. Not a small percentage of that is going to naval forces. Okay? Whereas if China would have wanted to invade India, it could have done so. Pakistan, so we can tackle these two neighboring countries diplomatically also.
Sir, I would say that it was based on the need of the hour. During the early times, during 50s to 80s or 90s, they were more focused on land-related issues or the internal security challenges or related to the national security or the world situation, was more focused on land-based warfare. So hence we gave more infrastructural push or the budget allocation to army.
That is what I am saying, that was a real folly.
So, but I think in contemporary times, when the maritime domain has increased its influence, where India is trying to strengthen itself or acting as a net security provider, and we see contemporary challenges like the Red Sea challenge, in these times we are having a lot of budget towards the Navy. It is increasing. And
is it increasing proportionately?
Sir, this I need to look into it, sir, the exact thing.
It's not. So that's my question to you.
Sir, in this regard, I would say that...
It's creating a hype about China and Pakistan threats, neglecting others, because we have limited resources as a developing country.
Sir, for this certain reforms which have taken in the Navy, for example, we have the transfer of technology, or we have joint collaborations with countries here, like the Mazagon Dock or the other PSUs are working very self-sufficiently in this regard. And the Navy also has a Directorate of Naval Design. So it is acting as an independent mechanism here.
You are a engineer, ocean engineering and naval architecture. You can't claim that Mazagon Dock is self-sufficient in terms of the needs of India.
Sir, I think I would say it's more of a work in progress. I do agree that the allocation to the Navy budget is not in comparison, because there are certain other factors. For example, the Air Force. These are capital intensive projects, and the cost of the projects too are very high, and hence the amount too as a proportion is increasing towards them. But I think in future, all the three forces, that is the Army, Navy and Air Force, are working towards jointness, and we have promoted organizations like the DMA, the CDS, which is ensuring the...
That's a good point. CDS is a good point.
Yes, sir, which is ensuring the jointness in procurement also. And this time we have not also divided our capital procurement in the defense area, and we have ensured that all the three procure collectively.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Akshay, good afternoon. So to continue with the defense, what strategic role does Andaman and Nicobar Islands play, or what does India have the plan?
Firstly, strategic role is that it ensures India's presence in the Indian Ocean region, especially near choke points like near the Malacca Strait and other related aspects. The second would be that it can act as a counter to China's string of pearls theory, and ensure that the required presence through intelligence and reconnaissance operations or the surveillance is there in this area. And thirdly would be that it can act as a naval base and ensuring humanitarian assistance and disaster relief and protecting our assets in the Andaman and Nicobar region, sir. Next question, sir, coming to the thing that what would be India's strategy? I think here India is building a project that is the Great Nicobar project, and it has a lot of facilities like the airport, the jetty, and the other port where it is building on these aspects. Certain challenges related to the cultural challenges or the seismological activeness of the region are posing major hurdles in this area.
Okay. So as a naval architect, can you name or how is the capability of India to make warships or aircraft carriers?
Sir, I would say that it is more of a work in progress, and India is developing in this regard. Firstly, that a lot of PSUs are taking the lead in this area. For example, Mazagon or the GRSC or the Cochin Shipyard Limited. And secondly would be that the budget and also the government is very proactive in ensuring integration of the required startups or the MSMEs to support these industries. And thirdly would be the research and developmental area. And all these have ensured certain limits, certain status of our production. But a lot of challenges remain. Firstly would be with respect to the private sector. Secondly would be with respect to the transformation or the transfer of technology, especially from countries from the Western. And thirdly would be with respect to the current account deficit or the amount of foreign exchange reserve which we are spending on these related areas, sir. So this would be the positives and negatives.
Okay, are we doing something with respect to the infrastructure, technology infrastructure, so that we don't depend on the others?
Sir, this I need to look into it. Can I get some time to think on it, sir?
Yes, related to artificial intelligence or cyber wars or cyber information safety. Aren't we too much dependent on the Western technology, at least with respect to the infrastructure?
Yes, sir, I think for this we have developed certain initiatives like the Information Fusion Center of the Indian Ocean region, and secondly would be the National Disaster Management the Maritime Domain Awareness Center. So all these are promoting a lot of intelligence, and it is having a collaboration with organizations like NatGrid in ensuring the required activities.
Into the state of Telangana, there has been talks about SC subcategorization. So likewise across the world, throughout the nation, there has been more talk about OBC subcategorization also. Can you just discuss on that?
Sir, I would say that OBC subcategorization would be a step in the right direction, because from around 2,700 OBCs which are there, only 1,900 to 2,000 of them are reaping the benefits always with continuing time and generations, and around 500 of them are not at all having the required benefits, and they are not coming out of poverty or the required social or the educational backwardness, and hence this can be a step in the right direction, sir. And various committees, for example, Rohini committee has been constituted and is almost going to submit its report, and this can be implemented shortly, sir.
Is it going to submit or it has submitted?
This I need to look. The report is finalized, but I'm not sure whether it has submitted the report or not, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.